My goal here today is to let you guys know what kind of a resource that we can be at CBU, mostly on the worksite side, but for supplemental policies that can also be sold individually, and why you might want to use us as opposed to other choices that you have out there in the market. Myself, I've had an insurance license for about 11 years. About 5 years ago, I sat down with Ray, and we talked about doing the worksite division and building it into something that people might come to a room one day to listen and hear about, and here we are. And what we have available and what I want to cover today for just a few minutes is the system that allows people like yourselves to find employer groups and to find ways to have employers say, sure, come on in and I'll listen to you, even in this world where the voluntary benefits are so well known and don't always have a great reputation based on who the previous rep that came through the door was, but how to break through all that and find a way to have that meeting, as I was talking to Brad at lunch, where in the meeting we can convey the differences that we offer at Combined Benefits United. What I want to do is take you a little bit inside the nuts and bolts of being in front of an employer, and through that little process bring out a lot of the points that we make in the voluntary world, and what you guys might be thinking of is, do I want to do this? Do I want to pursue this? Do I want to make it another tool in my toolbox? And give you an idea of that. If there's questions along the way, please let me know. But I'm going to just breeze through these slides. In this business, the Mount Everest of the biggest challenge in the whole process is simply getting the meeting with the employer. If every single one of you could get me a meeting with an employer by next Friday, and I came and sat down on that, now we're not obviously hitting it out of the park every single time, but I could promise you a very high percentage of those would turn into employers that would have a level of interest that would at least allow you to get an employee meeting. And that's where it all starts to be downhill on grease skis, because once you're in front of the employees, I can tell you from that point forward, this is not rocket science at all. We don't have to work real hard to get employee signups, and that 60% is very much an average for us, whether it's 220 people or whether it's 8 people in the room. So the business can be very, very lucrative. You need to get in front of the employer. So how do you do that? What I feel is that everything pivots on a successful employer meeting. It really leads you to all kinds of other opportunities, and I'll just touch on that for a second. When you're in front of an employee group, I was sitting with Amanda yesterday at the Children's Center up in Ellsworth, and we enrolled her in an accident plan, and it wasn't too long before she told me about the need she has for insurance. And Ray just got done talking about insurance. We have these conversations come up all the time. Her fiance has a $250 per month index universal life plan that he bought that he's not so sure he got the greatest deal on. And you'll run into all kinds of opportunities, from 401ks that have been left behind at previous jobs, to life insurance opportunities, to final expense, to long-term care issues that their parents may have. You really become, for a lot of these employees, the only real type of financial advisor type person that they actually have in their life, and they'll ask you these questions, and you can ask them these questions. Ray mentioned this morning, you can ask them where their spouse works and do they get benefits. But the picture I'm trying to paint is, once you're inside a company and you are able to present a product mix that is very, very popular with employees, you really have a door open to you to be able to write all kinds of other business, whether it's health insurance or whether it's the life insurance plans or all those types of things. So getting in the business can be just the first step, and then moving it down the road to all these other products can be very, very lucrative. Employers need to know why this is important. Doug Gagnon up here is the reason why this is important. Jim Dickow, who had a motorcycle accident on one of our accident plans 2 summers ago and got $14,000, and it's what he lived on for 6 months, is the reason why these plans are important. The fact that people that don't have disability and they don't have a paycheck every week, the first person they go to after 3 or 4 weeks goes by and they really, 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 really need to pay their rent is the owner of the company. All of these reasons are important reasons why an employer needs to look at these things, and if they haven't thought of them in that light, oftentimes that just goes by. That's the overview of it. That's kind of just a piece of our system that we have for voluntary benefit sales. And I think that we can help you find a path to be able to both get into employer meetings, find your way into employer meetings, and then once you're there, make a very high impact on the people that you're talking to have them want to make you their partner, and we're there to support you every step of the way. So again, I'll kind of reiterate my goal. My goal today is to convey to everybody here that whether you have some individual clients that you'd like a little bit of tutorial on how would I talk about that critical illness plan or talk about that cancer plan across the kitchen table and make it so it's a valuable resource for me in my toolbox, or whether you have businesses that you already work in or that you know of, that whole process can be underpinned with the system that we have. Our commitment to you is just to make you remember as you walk out the door that I will help you, our team will help you in any level, whether it's you just want to pass along an account to us and get paid on it, or you want us to teach you this business so that you can make some real money in the voluntary side in addition to what you're doing, we're ready to do that.